This guy's just here, back with another video. You've read the title. You can see that we have a massive crash in the market, guys. The pullback is enormous. We need to be looking at the relevant levels. This has been off of massive economic news, as you can see over here. So if I filter out the unnecessary news, you can see the high impact news over here. We had JOLTS, job openings data, actually come in with more openings than expected, and we had ISM data for the ISM index actually coming in a lot higher than actually the forecast. So that was bearish for markets, as that indicates that we may not get as many rate cuts as we actually anticipated. So you can see over here, Miles actually points out nicely the whole TLDR of why the market is dipping, and you can see bond yields actually spiked, and we're in this good data bad data phase of the market where things can be a bit more choppy than expected. But I think this is a massive trap, and we need to be going through the exact levels, and we need to be prepared for every single scenario. Before we do that, let's smash up this like button. Let's try to get above 25 likes this video. That would be absolutely insane, guys. And with that being said, let's get straight away in towards this banger. Bow. And as you guys can see here, that we had a nice run up that we've been calling, and we were expecting continuation over here as highlighted yesterday. However, we had a massive rejection off of economic news as it came in quite hot, which was unforeseen factor that caused the pullback. So of course, definitely the analysis is weighing up probabilities on the channel, and definitely we can be wrong. So of course, we need to be looking at the next levels and seeing what we're doing. And you can see that we haven't fully retraced the move. We haven't broken this support down here. We haven't lost any crucial levels that shift the bias. So I'm still bullish. I'm still looking for new all-time highs anytime from now. The metrics are pointing to new all-time highs and for a massive alt season. So I'm not going to change my bias on just 3-4 hour candles like some of you guys in the last video's comment. So you can see that we had a nice breakout, and we are potentially going to form a nice macro higher low over here, and then potentially start punching in a new trend where we actually break this previous high, set in another higher low, and then continue a lot higher. But before we do that, we need to be looking at the relevant levels in more detail, and you can see that we're approaching our previous week's mid-range after sweeping our previous week's high, and you can see our daily open actually coincided exactly with this previous resistance point over here. So at least we've ate the liquidity wall here a little bit and actually came down, because on the next push we can actually start clearing all this topside liquidity. And we pointed out on our channel that the probability of us actually coming in towards 95k was still there. It was more likely that we were going up, in my opinion, but it looks like we actually came down off of the news, and you had your stock markets actually come down massively. As you can see on the daily open, we actually had a massive red candle off of this news. So again, it is a market pullback. It's not just in crypto, it is all risk assets actually coming down, and you can see the dollar currency index on the day is actually up. However, we are in this massive rising wedge for the DXY, so I do expect anytime in between now and Trump's inauguration, we actually break down from this massive rising wedge and actually come in towards a target in and around 103 to 103.5 support level. So this is definitely something I'll be watching for. I would not be fooled. I still think that once DXY actually starts coming down, that's going to allow a greater environment for a macro bull market in a massive alt season. So again, people that are getting bearish here and actually celebrating off of 3-4 hour candles to the downside, I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm just telling you guys that you need to be looking at the right levels. You need to be looking at why we had this pullback in the first place, potentially, and actually coming to a conclusion for yourselves. But I'm just going to come through with the analysis now and show you guys what I'm seeing. But yes, guys, you can see that if we lose this 95k support level, I do think that we're going to just wick in towards our yearly open and our monthly open and immediately just get bought back up. I don't think that it's likely that we're going to come all the way down this box over here, which is the golden zone to actually fill all of this liquidity from our start of December crash at the 5th of December over there. So I think definitely if we do come down, then I expect us to get bought up straight away, and then we resume the up only environment. We resume the reversal, and that will confirm a nice inverse head and shoulders for us. So in my opinion, this is the higher probability outcome in the market. And you can see we have our previous week's mid as massive support over there. We have our mid range as well, and if we need it, we have our yearly open just in and around the 93.5k level. So that's a nice area to see a nice reaction, and that will actually confirm a nice right shoulder, and then we can actually start punching in potentially higher highs and higher lows just like this, and actually start moving a lot higher, in my opinion. So you can see we still have this massive cup and handle. We're still punching in a potential macro higher low from this 2020 fractal, and the timing is absolutely the same. You can see that we actually started going up aggressively if I use a vertical line and take it to the point where we had the first positive candle on the weekly time frame. It was the end of January, and we can see something very, very similar where we chop around a bit more and then actually start sending as soon as Trump is inaugurated. So people are actually thinking that this inauguration is actually priced in due to this rally over here, but I think not. We're actually starting to pull back, and I don't think that we're going to just dump from him actually being in office. I think that is more likely we may see a nice run up in towards the news, maybe a short pullback, and then we'll have a nice resumption of the bull market where odds will actually go massively crazy. Speaking about altcoins, we have Ethereum over here that's came all the way back into this trend line support over here where we had the upward slope and resistance line where we were bullish all the way down here, and we were calling for Ethereum to go up, and it went up exactly. However, off of this unforeseen news, we actually came down massively, and we actually cleared all the liquidity that was just below the support. So this is a decent area to be seen if Ethereum can actually start gaining some strength, and we can actually at least start chopping around and creating a potential higher low there, and then another breakout, and then we continue the up only environment where I do see Ethereum well above these highs over here in the next 30 days or so. So in my opinion, I think that this is a massive trap over here. I think this is the last shakeout before the final massive parabolic run. And I'm not going to change my tune because I know the liquidity cycles are about to kick in. And in my opinion, it's most likely going to end up to a massive altcoin season where everything's going to go absolutely parabolic. And you can see over here, we have this massive cup and handle. We have our measured move taken from that anticipated breakout from the base of the cup to the neckline, and you take it to the anticipated breakout. It lines up perfectly with the 1618 that was taken from your previous bull market highs to your bear market bottom. And we've taken a projection, and it's given us the 7.3k level, which is looking extremely good. And you can see over here we have this inverse head and shoulders with a more conservative target, taking it from your head to your neckline over there to the anticipated breakout. It gives us a 5.4k potential target. So you can see that we just need to hold this support in and around the $3,000 mark to actually still have this potentially playing out, and it will be confirmed once we do break above this massive 4k resistance where we actually rejected quite a few times. And I think that definitely there's so much liquidity above here for the taking, and once we do start pumping, yeah, it's going to be absolutely parabolic. So you can see we have this massive symmetrical triangle for Ethereum as well, and we've actually broken out and retested, and we're still holding the support. If I move this symmetrical triangle target out of the way, you can see if you take it from the trend line below to the highs over there and you take it to the anticipated breakout again, it gives you a nice 7.3k target. So that's looking really good, and we can see that we're testing support, so it's looking nice for us to actually start moving up anytime from now. So I'm still very bullish on Ethereum, and you can see altcoin season is the time to be paying attention because we're bouncing from this mid-range, and typically once you do enter the point where it's classed as altcoin season, so above the 75 mark, it's typically too late and it's very short-lived, as you can see. So the time to be paying attention is now, the time to be bullish is now, because if you don't establish long-term positions now and start buying the dip, then you're just going to be buying the top, in my opinion. So I think now is a great opportunity to be actually accumulating. And you can see Solana's on massive support. We were calling this on Twitter all the way from this green support box, so that's still massively in profit, and we can actually looking towards a nice long opportunity over here if we can actually start confirming some bullish candles from this previous week's mid-range. So I think this is a massive opportunity for Solana. We can actually maybe widen our stops a little bit, and we can take profit at the next resistance you can see over here before we actually go into all-time highs again for Solana. So I think that this is a decent area to be maybe looking towards a long position potentially, but you have to have that confirmation, and you have to just wait for a nice close on the 8-hourly time frame, which is the one I'm on. And I think if you can close on this trend line on the previous week's mid-range over there without actually breaking it on the 8-hour, I think it's a decent opportunity to be actually long in Solana. So you can see for Bitcoin dominance, we've exactly tested this rising wedge over there, and we're actually starting to reject. So things are looking still bearish. We had the higher high over there, then we created a lower high there. So things are looking like it's slowing down for Bitcoin dominance. So I'm still very bearish, and I'm looking for this to actually come down, which just means I'm very bullish on altcoins, because this means that money can flow out of Bitcoin and into altcoins. And historically, every time that that's happened, and you can see by these hammers over here that I've plotted on this chart, you can see that yes, every time we had a massive top on Bitcoin dominance, we had a massive aggressive sell-off where altcoin season happened in a matter of months. So this is the time to be paying attention, because the altcoin season is going to happen really quickly, and if you miss it, you miss it. You have to wait for the next cycle. So in my opinion, it's a crucial time to be paying attention. As you can see, ETH is inversely correlated, and this is hitting a nice demand zone, falling wedge. So once we actually break above our local highs on the shorter time frames, you will see altcoins absolutely send. And once you can confirm closing candles above this downward sloping trend line on the top side over there, which is approximately at 4.1, then that is looking really good for a massive alt season, as this falling wedge has been in the making for the past 4 years. So this is going to be an enormous alt season. And you can see by Mr. Crypto over here, he talks about the real alt season starts this year, 2025. You can see historically, every time we have 3 consecutive candles in the 4-year cycles, the last one is your massive alt season, where exactly starting to actually play that out. So if I go and hide all my drawings on here and I go to the 12-month time frame, which is just a yearly time frame, you can see that we're starting to print that red candle over there for Bitcoin dominance, and it's going to be a very fast drop on a year. So in my opinion, I think that this is a massive opportunity to be actually accumulating. This is a massive opportunity to be getting into your altcoins, because you want to do it when the risk is low and things are dumping, and then when things are pumping again and people are starting to FOMO and get in and around the 7k mark with Ethereum, 6k mark with Ethereum and things like that, you want to be exiting and taking profits. So if you look at the liquidations over here, you can see that we've actually grabbed the downside liquidity in towards the 98k level over there and in towards the 97k level. So yes, we have the majority above us on the 48 hour over there. And if we actually zoom out onto the 2-week liquidations, yes, we do have a little bit below us. However, I do think that the majority still resides above us, so it's inevitable that we're actually going to grab that topside liquidity. You can see we grabbed all the liquidity that's likely to be hit next, and you can see that if we come all the way to 90k, that's the last bit, but I think that probability of that is really low. I think that this is a great opportunity that bulls can potentially step in for a midweek reversal, which typically happens on the Wednesday, and actually revert price higher, which can cause this to be a macro high low and a massive buying opportunity, just like we've been saying. And you have to remember, we're not changing our tunes. I say this might be an area where you get a potential higher low over here. So you had your low, then potential higher low here before you actually resume the uptrend, and then you can turn this one into support and continue the uptrend over there. So in my opinion, I think that we're extremely oversold, and how I know that is the Bitcoin funding rates. You can see that the Bitcoin funding rates are extremely low, and the Ethereum funding rates are even very low and even negative on some exchanges over there. So you can see on Bybit, Ethereum funding rates are negative on Bybit. So in my opinion, this is a massive opportunity to be accumulating, because this is likely to occur where we have a low over here. This is potentially your higher low. You send in towards 106k, clearing all that liquidity. Maybe you get a pullback, and then we just go absolutely parabolic from there, in my opinion. So this is my bias. I'm going to stick to my rules and actually look at this potentially playing out. We have to look at it more gradually as price develops. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to be following me on Twitter. That'll be it from me. We'll look at things tomorrow, as the next few days may be a bit choppy. So again, we'll just look at how price develops. We'll be checking the stock market and these different things to be seeing when we might get that massive reversal. So make sure to be following me on Twitter to stay up to date with market updates, and have a blessed rest of your day, guys. Peace, guys. See ya. Bye-bye.